dancing and I have this light spot still. Don't know how to fucking get rid of it. It's like right above my head. I don't know how to fix that. I could stand over here. It's still there. I have a shiny forehead. Do, 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 do. Okay. Hi! So, it's Cara and today I'm going to be filming my August wrap up. I haven't filmed anything like all month because I'm hopeless and I've been busy and uni and assignments and break because on break I had my birthday and I was really busy and I have like half filmed a book haul which I will hopefully finish filming today sometime. I'm going to include some books I bought today even though it's technically the 1st of September. Technicalities. So I will be filming that later today, but today I'm going to show you what I read in the month of August. So I did go home for a week on break, so I don't have most of the books I read this month with me because of course I left them at my parents' house. I have a few here though, and I will put up the front covers, the covers of the books in the cap so you can see those as we go. So first off this month I read Blue Lily Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the 3rd book in the Raven cycle. I was reading this at the end of July if you were watching my July wrap up. Oh, so good. Like I can't get over this series. Feels like ages ago that I read it, but I can't get over it. It's just perfect. It is, the Raven cycle is a urban fantasy kind of thing. We're following 4 boys and our main character Blue in a small southern town as they're trying to find this lost Welsh king that's apparently buried under these ley lines, and the whole series is insanely beautiful but also insane. And I really enjoyed them because each book has its own arcing plot line that gets resolved, as well as the overarching like major plot points of the series. It feels kind of episodic, like a TV show, where you feel nice and contained within the book, but also look at all these outer mysteries that we haven't solved yet. And I like that because I'm not stuck on an awkward cliffhanger. However, this one did have a little bit more of a cliffhanger than some others. But it was more like, oh, we've rounded everything off and now here have an epilogue that's going to screw with your brain, which is kind of upsetting, but oh well. The new one comes out, then the final book comes out in like January or February, so it's not too far away. I can survive. I obviously gave this 5 stars. I loved it. I don't know whether it was better or worse than any of the others. I kind of liked them all equally. I did like that it's like episodic plot issues built upon the last one's issues. And I like that every time all the boys are somehow included. Everyone has their own little plot threads go. Plots. This is A+ on the plotting. Like everything is so well intertwined. yes. And this book made me like Adam a lot more, which was very nice. I liked him in the first one. I did not like him in the second one. I like him again now. But yeah, good. Read it. Read the series. It is beautiful. A bit slow paced, but beautiful. It's not slow. It is just slow paced. Yes. Then I read Just One Day, Just One Year, and Just One Night, all by Gail Forman. I gave them all 4 stars. These books follow, oh, it was so long ago. I was thinking right at the start of the month. Willem and Alison, that's her name. And Alison has done a Europe trip at the end of her senior year of high school, and meets Willem and he takes her for a day to Paris, and then he leaves her mysteriously, and it's everything happening after that, and then and them trying to make their way back to each other. So Just One Day follows Alison, Just One Year follows Willem, and then Just One Night is like the epilogue conclusion novella. yes, enjoyed. I didn't love it, and I struggle to give contemporaries a full 5 stars. They just never quite top of the cake for me, but I did like how relatable these were. I did also get annoyed occasionally at, like, as you were reading, you could tell very serendipity kind of thing, where they're just not, like, in the movie Serendipity, I mean, where they're just missing each other a lot of the time. Like, frustrating. Or is it When Harry Met Sally that's like that? One of those movies. And it just, that irked me a little bit, because I'd be like, just get together, just do it, it's not hard. And they never seemed to quite get there, and that annoyed me. But not enough for me to knock it down too far. So I gave them all 4 stars. They were all very good, well written. I enjoyed them much better than If I Stay and Where She Went, also by Gail Forman. So yes. Then I read 2 Kathy Reichs e-novellas, which fall between the last books in the series and the newest books in both her series. And they were Bones on Ice, In Ice, On Ice, On Ice. And Shock, I think the other one was. Bones on Ice is from the Temperance Brennan series, and Shock is from the Viral series. I really enjoyed Bones on Ice, and I normally enjoy the e-novellas for the Temperance Brennan series, because they are their own little unique mystery, but they're short, so you can get the whole build, tension and reveal in a much shorter expanse of time. And I gave it, what did I give it? I gave it 4 stars. Very interesting, very good. And it had me guessing right through to the end, which was really interesting. It follows the remains of a woman who died climbing Mount Everest, and her remains get recovered, and is trying to, Temperance Brennan gets tasked with the job of trying to determine how she died for insurance purposes, and it all kind of spirals. Shock follows Tori Brennan, her great niece, yes, and it is a prequel to the Viral series. It kind of jumped back in time to when she first arrived at the island where she lives with her father in the series of the books, because originally she lived with her mother before her mother died. And I didn't like this as much. It was kind of more like a look where they began kind of novella, and it kind of fell a bit flat for me. There was none of the big mystery and build up of a normal Virals novel that I normally love. So it was okay. It just wasn't great. I gave it 3 stars. There just wasn't enough plot for me, pretty much. And then I read The Disreputable History of Frankie Landau Banks, which I haven't actually hauled yet. It's in my August haul. And oh, I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. This follows 15-year-old Frankie, who attends a boarding school that was traditionally all male and now takes females. But she's very annoyed that all the boys at the school have not all of the boys, but a good portion of the boys have this secret club that's an all men's club, and she's kind of annoyed that she can't be part of it. And she starts dating one of the boys and tries to kind of infiltrate the club. And I loved it. It was very pretentious, but it sets out from the very beginning that she is way wiser than her years, but still immature. She's 15, but she also has a lot of intelligence. So you understood from the beginning why she was pretentious. So it felt right for the character, because she's crazy, but it was great reading from that point of view, and the storyline was A+. That was my phone going off. Whoops. I really, really loved it. It was so good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Buy E. Lockhart if I didn't say that. And I really enjoyed her book We Are Lies as well. This one is much less plot twisty than We Are Lies. There's no real big plot twist, but it builds really well, and I love boarding school novels, and it was like so good. especially all the plots and stuff she runs. It was kind of like pretentious Gallagher Girls, which I love. Then, of course, I read Speaking in Bones by Temperance Brennan, which was kind of why I read the novellas before. And this I also haven't hauled yet. I filmed the bit for it because obviously I don't have the books on me. But I haven't uploaded it. I haven't finished filming it. It follows Temperance Brennan again. And a PI comes, or like a self-taught online investigator, coming to her convinced that she knows who one of her sets of bones, unknown bones, belong to, and it spirals from there. This was insane. Great, 5 stars, kept me twists and turns the whole way through. I did try and explain the plot to a friend, and they were like, that sounds way far-fetched, but as you're reading it, it doesn't feel far-fetched. Like, the plot twists and stuff, I'm not gonna spoil you. I spoiled him, I'm not spoiling you. But I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy Temperance Brennan novels. I am a science nerd, and so good. In fact, in like half an hour I need to go to my forensics class, so better get on that. But I really loved this. It was amazing, and just what I wanted from a Temperance Brennan novel. It was A++ good, 5 stars, yeah. Then I read Bitter of Tongue, which is the 7th, I think, 7th Shadowhunter Academy novella, and this follows Simon. They all follow Simon. You know the drill. We're doing this every month. One of the Shadowhunter Academy chronicles. And yes, I didn't like this one as much as some of the others. It fell a bit flat for me, mainly because I don't feel invested enough in the characters that weren't Simon. So I gave it 3 stars. I am excited to see where the next one goes. I just didn't get the same emotional hit from this one. Again, it was very like character introducing, so that when we come into the new series we have a bit of backstory, and I just don't feel invested enough in the characters yet. Maybe after I've read Lady Midnight this will mean a lot more to me, but we'll see. Then I read Uprooted by Naomi Novak. I will also be hauling this in my August book haul. I've kind of abused it. I've curled up this corner. The spine is like so not flat anymore. But I read this with a lot of love, okay? I gave this 5 stars. This is a fantasy standalone following a girl named Agnieszka, and she lives in like a historical fantasy Poland, and which they call Polnia, I think, and she gets selected to be the handmaiden of what they call the dragon, who lives in their area, who's a sorcerer who lives in their area, and is essentially, I think he's their lord in her, like, set of villages around her area. And she always thought her friend Kasha would get picked because Kasha is beautiful, and everyone in the town thought Kasha would get picked, but it turns out she got picked instead. And it follows on from there. I'm getting another text message. It was so good. Like, it goes insane from there. It is kind of slow paced, like it has a very slow build, but then occasionally you'll be reading a chapter and you'll be like, where the heck did that come from? It's like slow, 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 and then at the end of the chapter it'll jump all the what would be boring. So not slow, but it took a lot of building. By the time we were like halfway through, I couldn't put it down. But you needed all the backstory for it to make sense. This was so good. Let me just hug it. I loved it. The cover is gorgeous, even though I've kind of dented it a bit. But I haven't peeled off any of the gold leaf, which is good for me because normally my hands sweat and I peel off the gold leaf, but I was very careful with this. So yeah, I don't even know what else to say. This is just one of the best fantasy novels I've read in a while. Standalone, very fairy tale folklore-ish, and it takes inspiration from like Baba Yaga and stuff like that. and I just, so good. I loved all the Polish influences, and it was just, yeah. Then I read One by Sarah Crossan. This is a book in verse about conjoined twins. The girls' names are Grace and Tippy, and they are interesting. I gave this 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed reading from the character perspective, and I thought it was really interesting and diverse, but I wanted more of what would have come after the plot of this book and less of what was actually in the book. Spoilers, so I can't really explain it. But yeah, I felt like the emphasis of this novel was put in the wrong places, which kind of annoyed me a little bit. I would have liked to have seen more after the end of this book. So I gave it 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. And then for class, I read Playback by Raymond Chandler. This is a classic, like a modern classic, I guess I'd say from the 50s, following the private investigator Philip Marlowe, which is the topic of my assignment that I'm reading the books for. This is book 7 in an 8-book series, but they're all kind of standalone. They don't really feel like they need to be read in any particular order. I did annotate this and mark a lot of pages, obviously because I'm studying it. This was good. Very 50s, more so after I finished it. I didn't really realise how sexist it was till after I got to the end, because obviously it was written in the 50s and is set in the 50s. It's very masochist, kind of like very men things. And the female character that I thought really stood up for herself and was being really cool and sly turned out to not be so sly, and what appeared to be all her doing wasn't, and was the doing of men, which kind of was a bit upsetting, which I only really talked about more after discussing it with my classmates on the assignment, because it's a group assignment. But I enjoyed it. It was a fun read. It is very short. This is only like 195 pages. It's tiny. There is a bigger one. This is like the smallest one in the series, which is why I started with it. And it was fun and enjoyable to read. It was really easy, and you can definitely see where a lot of other crime novels have picked their influence from this. I saw a lot of the J.K. Rowling, like Robert Galbraith, Cormoran Strike novels in this. I also saw a lot of the Temperance Brennan novels in this, and one of the other girls in my group saw a lot of Jack Reacher, I think, in this. But I haven't read that, so I couldn't make that comparison. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I gave it 3.5 stars. It wasn't the best I've ever read, but it was quite enjoyable, and I will end up picking up the rest of the series. And finally, I finished this beast of a novel, Rogues, the anthology of short stories by a bunch of fantasy authors. Look, I no longer have a bookmark in it. I've been reading this for months, as you probably well know. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I enjoyed some of the last stories a lot, which kind of would have bumped me up. Most of the way through, it was like a few good ones, but most of them were not that great. They were just like 3-star novellas. But the end, like 5, really blew my mind, which put it up to a 4 stars. I would definitely recommend this anthology. It's pretty good as anthologies go. But if I wasn't me, I wouldn't have read every single story. But I bought a book. I'm gonna read every single story. That's my theory. Yeah, 4 stars. I enjoyed it. It was good. So that was my reading month. This month I read 9 novels and 4 novellas, putting me at 13 things in total. Here are the ones I have with me, little Playback and stuff there in the middle. Actually, can be a bit more visible. So I was really proud of myself this month. I did go home for a week over my birthday, and uni was off, so I got a ton of reading done while I was at home. And I've been working to get reading done since I've been back, because I often neglect it when I'm at uni because I do other stuff like homework and playing Wii. So I tried to put in an effort to get more read this month, and I think I succeeded. I was very pleased with my results. It also helped that I could read a bunch of novellas, which bumped me up. But yeah, so those are what I've read. I probably won't film a TBR video for this coming month, just because I'm not sure what I want to read. I'm just going to pick things out as I go. I will read Queen of Shadows. I'm going to pick it up today. It's going to be in my book haul, even though today is September 1st. I'm also going to pick up a couple of other books while I'm there, but I don't know if I'll read them in September. My housemate's yelling at me and telling me I should read the books I already have and stop buying books, but he is a liar. Also looking at my bookshelf here, there's a couple of other stuff I want to read, like Solitaire and its novella, which I got from a friend. That'll be in my book haul. And Station 11, which I also got from her, will also be in my book haul. I also have some other books on order that are coming in later in the month. I may read some of them. And I also have, obviously, so many to choose from. So we'll see how I go. But I have no idea what I really want to read other than Queen of Shadows. So I will see you soon with the book haul. Book haul might be up before this. One of them will be up first, this or the book haul. And hopefully I'll get a chance to film some other videos during the month. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Oh, thanks for watching. Comment down below. All that stuff. Let me know if you've read any of these. I want to talk about these. So comment down below. And thank you for watching. Bye.